This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
I'm not a big fan of his brain.
You know, some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it.
Turkey and other parts of the Balkan Peninsula have been gripped by a heat wave this week. In Greece, it was so hot their marbles melted. I mean, it was so hot that the authorities closed tourist attractions such as the Acropolis between midday and 5 p.m. High pressure across the region brought average heat and rainfall about 80 to 90% below average. Above average heat and rainfall about 80 to 90% below average. That makes more sense. Scorching temperatures, strong winds and lightning strikes in the region have caused widespread wildfires. In northern Scandinavia, they've also been experiencing intense heat and maximum temperatures in the low to mid-30s. That's at least 10 degrees centigrade above average for the time of year. In the North Pacific, sea surface temperatures have been 5°C higher than the average for the first time this year, threatening delicate corals. High sea surface temperatures are expected to continue into August, increasing pressure on one of the most significant regions for fishery stock replenishment in the world.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, Typhoon Whiffer continued to wreak widespread damage across East Asia, and Hong Kong issued its highest-level hurricane alert.
Warning, warning.
And a series of freak storms have struck a popular Spanish tourist hotspot, turning roads into raging rivers, and hail lashed down and turned streets white and smashed car windows. It was so big. And that's Moratala, where car windows were smashed. Meanwhile, British tourists in Benidorm have been forced to take shelter as enormous thunderstorms lashed down on the Alicante region. Idyllic beaches and bars lay vacant as aggressive thunder and lightning hit the province. Video clips circulating on social media popular holiday spots looking abandoned as tourists remained indoors in a bid to escape extreme conditions. They were only doing what they were told.
Emergency, everybody to get from street. Emergency, everybody to get from street.
Back home, the UK so far has seen several heat waves this year, and now weather maps show temperatures are about to surge again, with most of England land turning red on July the 30th, with highs of 29 degrees centigrade forecast for the southeast. And I will translate European surrender temperatures for His Majesty's Fahrenheit. It's perfectly simple. You just multiply by 2 and add 32 to get from centigrade to Fahrenheit. So 29 centigrade, double 29 is 59, and 59 plus 32 is 101. Wow, it's going to be 101 degrees Fahrenheit next week. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Of course, listeners in Glasgow will get their own weather. I could check on that while you wait. One moment, please. Your call is important to us. We are experiencing a higher than usual number of calls, which is the same thing that we always say, which rather implies that we are getting the usual number but can't be bothered to put enough people on duty to answer them, which means that your call is not important to us and we would rather you go away. Glasgow. Aha! It's not raining at the moment? Pfft, rubbish. It will be raining tomorrow and raining on Sunday and not raining on Monday. Just check on that. Oh, yes, it will be. That's not true. Liar! It will also be raining on Tuesday, and I expect raining on Wednesday, definitely on Thursday and Friday, and maybe not next week. You might be able to dry out next week. Do you have anything to wear in the sun?
No.
Would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
OK, Saturday, cloud and outbreaks of rain moving slowly and erratically southeastwards across England, turning heavy across the southeast later. Sunday, sunny spells and showers. And the long-range forecast. This is for the end of this month, first week of next. At first, rainy, showery, sunny, warmy. And then, end of this month, the middle 2 weeks of... Oh, blimey, the middle 2 weeks of August. Don't time fly when you're out of your mind. I can't believe it. It's like it's speeding up. The middle 2 weeks of August. Settled spells are likely with prolonged dry and sunny weather. Temperatures will likely to be near or above average with a chance of very warm or hot spells. Temperatures will likely be near or above average with the chance of some very or warm hot spells. We'll take it. Paul in Kent says, this week I had to spend £300 to fix my car. This made me very angry and I wanted to sue my car. My rage was probably as bad as Donald Trump's after he saw the latest South Park episode. He can't wait to sue those guys. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to sue them to death, or try to. Yeah, too funny. I mean, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen the clips. Yeah, Trumple Thinskin is going to be furious about that, no doubt. Well, he's already had one of the little people, not leprechauns, one of them go out and issue a statement on his behalf. So pathetic. The White House issued a statement on the 27th season premiere episode of South Park, which aired on Wednesday night in America. Unlike the other characters in the animated show, Trump is depicted as an actual photo of the US president on an animated body. There's also an extended scene featuring a hyper-realistic deep-fake video of Trump completely naked walking in a desert, and the repeated suggestion that that Donald Trump's genitalia is very small. And Trumple Thinskin had one of those people debase themselves in public because the drear leader can't stand being made fun of. You know, like every other wannabe dictator the whole world over since the dawn of time. White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers said in a statement about the cartoon, "This show hasn't been relevant for over 20 years and is hanging on by a thread with uninspired ideas and a desperate attempt for attention. President Trump has delivered on more promises in just 6 months than any other president in our country's history, and no fourth-rate show can derail President Trump's hot streak." Hot streak. Oh, come on. All right, couple of three things. It certainly is a relevant television programme, being as it's about what is happening right now. That is the definition of relevant, you giant painted clown. Second, it's hardly hanging on by a thread, being as how the creators of South Park just signed a 5-year, $1.5 billion contract, not million, billion, as in £1,500 million. Think of a million and then multiply it by 1,500. That's how much money they've made for doing cartoons. And their contract is for 50 more episodes, all of which might now be about Donald Trump's tiny weenie. Hey, Melania, your husband has a cartoon tiny weenie.
I don't care.
She's not that bothered. And third, that bit about President Trump has delivered on more promises in just 6 months than any other president in our country's history, and no fourth-rate show can derail President Trump's hot streak. He's delivered on more promises. What promises? He was going to drain the swamp. He filled it. He was going to root out waste. He plays golf twice a week at a cost of $3 million per round to the American people. And Elon Musk's spending cuts didn't amount to a single bean in money saved by the government. And he still hasn't released the Epstein files. We're still waiting.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
And as for Trump having a hot streak, well, I'm sure that can be treated with antibiotics, but you won't need too many, what with his streaker being so very microscopically small.
Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
0345 6060 973. Let's see. Majorca. Hello, James.
Evening, Nick. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thanks. What's the weather like there? Terrible, I heard.
Good. Well, actually, we escaped the worst of it. But,
did you?
It was actually the weather I was calling about, because you're talking about this freakish weather in various parts of around the Mediterranean. So I thought you might be interested in a bit of news that maybe you missed. If I know you're a fan of the Daily Mail, but somehow they seem to overlook this bit of royal news. I work in the super yacht industry here in Mallorca.
You work in the what industry? I missed that. Hang on a minute. You work in the what?
I work in the super yacht industry.
In the super yacht industry. Blimey, he's a super yachter. Go on.
So I catch quite a lot of news, all related to that particular field. Now, so you may be interested to know that Prince William and family have been doing their bit for the climate this week. They're on their holidays.
Yeah.
And I picked up a news report from a local Kefalonia newspaper today, reporting that the Waleses, with their wonderful Kate's parents, flew in a private jet, arrived in Kefalonia, where they then boarded one of the world's largest super yachts for a little holiday.
Is that right?
146 meter. It's a 146 meter long yacht.
Wow.
Called Opera.
Who owns that Opera yacht?
It belongs. Hang on. It's Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi.
Right. Well, that's easy for you to say.
But so obviously he's made his money in oil and gas, and that thing doesn't run on solar power, so it guzzles a fair amount of diesel. So it's all very environmentally friendly.
Yeah, not really. No.
So I thought I'd check in the Daily Mail just for verification, because I know they're across all the royal stories.
Yeah.
And all they could talk about is Meghan's Netflix deal going up.
Oh, yeah, Meghan Markle, the Wicked Witch of the West. No! Yeah, can you imagine if she'd boarded a yacht at 10 metres, never mind about 140? Good grief.
So given William and his Earth shot and being leading by example and being one of the foremost kind of climate spokespeople in this country, and then let's talk about funny detail, because in this Catalonia paper they said that it wasn't just a jet; it was not a Learjet but a liar jet. They misspelled it.
Liar jet. Jet. Yeah. Okay, well, I want you to keep us updated, James. Any further developments, let me know straight away. All right. Excellent work, that man. Well, we have the royals to thank for saving the planet.
Thank you.
Yeah, first they're going to ruin it, and then they're going to save it for us. Appreciate it.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
What the hell is going on?
Nobody really knows, Donny. You least of all. Darrell in Hove says, so sad to hear about the demise of the great Ozzy Osbourne. The main thing I know about him is the disappointment he suffered one time when he got his photos back from the chemist, only to find they were all just prints of darkness. Sam in Cambridge says, Nick, I've been duped. That's not what Sam says. I just feel that myself. Led down the garden path, only for that punchline to slap me in the face. You believe that? Sam in Cambridge says, hi, Nick, surprised you're on the radio tonight. Thought you'd be in your Pringle jumper, ready to be Tango Man's caddy. The good people of Scotland are expressing their views in no uncertain terms. They said, 3 cheers for Donald Trump. Hip, hip. No! we knew we could rely on you. Thanks. Appreciate it. Helen in Lancashire says, Jeremy Corbyn has started a brand new political party. I'm thrilled. Followed by 7 exclamation marks, which I think denotes sarcasm. Are you being sarcastic, Helen? 0345 6060 973. Clacton, hello, Ben.
Hello, Nick.
Yes, Ben.
I just read last week that the fossil fuel people are telling all the investors to put their money in air conditioners to make a fortune.
That would be a smart move.
They're making it hotter. And the other thing was, why didn't the police prosecute Nigel Farage? Because he apologised for the comment he made about... Every time he makes a comment, there's about 300 demonstrators turn up and beat up the police. It's just, if you're inciting something, then there must be a law against it. I mean,
well, he tiptoes around not actually inciting. He just says, this is a phrase I hear from him so many times, I'm just asking the question. That's what I'm just asking the question. I don't know what the answer is. Are all of those people over there criminals? I don't know. I'm just asking the question, which is a pretty cute way of calling all of the people over there criminals, because that's the point at which people stop listening. Oh, look at them, blooming criminals they are.
Anyway.
I know, you couldn't make it up, eh? All right, good work. Thanks a lot, Ben.
Couldn't.
Ta-da. 0345 6060 973. This says, do you think Trump will listen to the Nick Abbott show when he is in Scotland? Well, let me think about that.
No.
No. First of all, he will never have heard of me, and I sincerely hope that it stays that way. And second, if he had heard of me and was in any way tempted, then one of his people would wrestle that radio out of his hands. Don't do it, Mr. President, sir. Robert in the New Forest says, evening, as Trump's few remaining hair follicles abandoned the wasteland of his scalp. I'm just reading this stuff. I'm not saying this, Mr. President, sir. Mr. Orange Jesus, I'm not saying this. I'm just reading this. This is what other people are writing, not me. I don't think this. I don't think you're wearing a toupee.
I don't wear a toupee.
This says, as Trump's few remaining hair follicles abandon the wasteland of his scalp, he has stopped talking as much about his Golden Dome defense shield. Is he finally becoming self-aware?
Don't be rude.
No. I would expect not, no. Self-aware. Like Arnie. Wouldn't the world be a better place if the actual Arnold Schwarzenegger, even the Terminator robot, never mind about the actor, if the Terminator robot was running the world, we'd be in a better place right now. Ain't that right?
Affirmative.
This says, well, it's happened again, where Britain celebrates their one day a year when the weather was hotter than Athens. Let's not worry about the other 364 days of the year. When was the weather hotter than Athens? At what point in this year so far has that been true? I mean, it's been warm right enough. Corfu, what a scorcher, one of the most famous headlines in the history of the world. I think the only more famous headline in history is Freddie Starr ate my hamster, which is a pretty long headline to get your head around. I mean, it's not true. They don't have to make sense or be true. They just have to be memorable, that's all. They just have to make you want to pick that newspaper up and pay for it at the till. Or just run out of the shop with it and not pay, in the modern manner. Name me a more famous headline than that. Freddie Starr ate my hamster, or Corfu, what a scorcher. I think they were both the work of the Sun. Excellent work, Sun. Well done, Sun. The only one that struck me as being better than that wasn't an actual headline on the newspaper, but it was one of those, I don't know what they call them, though they used to sell newspapers on a box in the street. And the box used to be it was like an open-sided cupboard for newspapers, and on the side they would put a printed poster of that day's headlines. And I saw it, and it was unmanned, so I could have stolen it, but I didn't. And I forever wish that I had, because it was the Evening Standard, and the headline was, Thatcher's plan to save the world.
What?
We're lucky to be alive. Yeah, I wish I'd taken that, because I'd still have that framed. Well, I'd put it in the smallest room in the house, but it would be there. Robert in the New Forest says, no, I've read that. This says, well, what's happened again? No, I've read that too. God, I'm way ahead of schedule, and this show's barely even begun. Glasgow. Hello, David.
Hey, long time no speak.
Ah, welcome along.
Well, since you mentioned the follically challenged,
yeah,
I had to have a wee wry smile to myself during the week when I heard, you probably did too, I don't know, the leader of the Westminster group of the SNP, Stephen Flynn, namely, I should say, when he was questioned, what will you be doing when President Trump comes to Scotland?
Yes.
And he said, I'll probably find time to do something else like wash my hair. Which, yes. And given that the leader of the Scotland's first minister, John, is... Baldy. Well, you see where... Yeah. Well, we don't mention that one.
No.
Nick. The other point was, I feel duty-bound to pass on a message from the late, great Jeannie Godley. Quite sure you've heard of her too.
Yes.
And who can forget her message to the Donald from his last visit?
Don't say it.
I'm certainly not going to do that. I promise you, the glamorous assistant, I wouldn't use any kind of profanity whatsoever.
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Keep it that way.
Apart from the fact that it's dry. Is that profane?
No, it isn't. But I appreciate that, David. Thank you for restraining yourself. Evan in West Wales says, given the Tangerine Tantrum's current location and the latest scandal that he's embroiled in, I think that the guy who always used to blast loud music whenever a Tory MP made a speech outside Number 10 should fly to Scotland and play Donald, Where's Your Trousers on a 24/7 loop until the Mango Madman gets back on the plane. That's a good idea, and that's a perfect song. Because apart from anything else, really annoying. I mean, on a loop, that would just drive you mad. Donald, hey, Donald, where's your trousers? And why are they so baggy in the leg?
Don't be rude.
They're very, very baggy in the leg for some reason. They look like they're like specially made for elephants. Why are your legs so wide, Donny? Just asking. Curious minds are keen to find out. Pat texts, evening, Nick. Now that Donny Dingaling has conquered Scotland, he'll be bathing in iron brew for all that all over orange glow. That's not my fault. That's all and over on separate lines, and they weren't connected with a dash. So I'm blaming Pat for this. But from the top, now that Donny Dingaling has conquered Scotland, he'll be bathing in iron brew for that all over orange glow. He may even deep fat fry himself.
They're eating the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
This is what's happening in our country. People are being deep fried and eaten right where they stand. You believe that? Alex says, does Donny... Okay, this is a new one on me. I'm going to have to write this down. Hang on one moment, please. I shall get my piece of paper, which is completely full up now of names for Donald Trump. But this one is pretty good. It's going to have to go down straight away. That's Donny, D-O-N-N-I, second name, G-R-O-P-E-N-F-U-H-R-E-R. Donny Gropenfuhrer. Please let him not be listening to this show. Alex says, does Donny Gropenfuhrer or the wine connoisseur make your Trump nicknames list? Well, the first one absolutely does, and the wine, as in wine with an H, could possibly do that too.
I am the most fabulous whiner. And I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining. I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining. I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
Whining and whining and whining. I mean, you can understand why people couldn't stand that anymore, and they just say, oh, whatever you want, Donny, just take it. Take it all. He says, after all, he gropes everything in reach like a randy octopus and manages to whine about anything and everything.
I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
Whining and whining and whining and whining, and that's how he's got what he wants of his entire life. He just whines and he whines and he whines. Occasionally he dines, but mostly he whines. Will says, residents of Turnberry will be missing the smell of the seaweed processing plant a mile down the coast as something emanating an even more foul stench is visiting for a few days. I don't know whether he means that literally or figuratively. There's somebody talking about your husband's smell, Melania.
I don't care.
She's still not that bothered. Couldn't care one way or the other. Not remotely interested. Val in London says, during Trump's first presidency, there was a comedy called Our Cartoon President. It was hilarious. I wonder if they'll dare to make another series this time. I mean, it comes to something when people are I mean, they're joking about being frightened, but that does indicate an actual fear of a man who's not even running this country, supposedly, although he kind of actually is. Our country has been given over to the president, and if not in total, then it certainly would. If a certain individual were to occupy number 10, he'd just hand this entire country over and then go on holiday for the rest of his life in his Union Jack socks. Mike says, good evening, Nick. He's in town, and your name is on a list. The Donald is listening to you, so beware of blacked-out SUVs. But it does come to something, though, doesn't it? When you joke about this, but in the back of your mind you think, oh, well, what if? Yeah, it's like the world's been taken over by the mafia.
Absolutely. Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Is he crazy, or is that just the way he acts?
Gary in Pontefract says, hey, Nick, what's going on with the new age verification on cheeky websites? My favourite tractor site now wants my picture. Yeah, that one's got a thresher on it. Whoa, hey, look at the tyres on that one. It's got a 7-litre engine. What a goer. Apparently you need age verification to look at that filth now.
Disgusting.
This text says, hi, Nick, for the reason that Trump has not released the Epstein files is because he's run out of printer paper. Not because it documents his naughtiness. Honest, says that texter. Well, I'm convinced. Let's have Somerset. Hello, John.
Oh, hello, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
You sound amazing this evening.
Amazing.
Yowza.
Yeah.
You sound suitably...
Amazing. What, like science fiction, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, like I'm doing the show with the little people.
The little people. You've infected my mind with your sound bites.
Right.
This happens to me all the time. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about was people... first thing I wanted to talk to you about was, do you remember the Galloping Gourmet?
Yes, Graham Kerr. Can't believe I pulled that name out of the air. I haven't seen his programme since the mid-1970s. He was on the air. He was the first TV chef, the first sort of starred TV chef, wasn't he?
He was the first TV chef.
Apart from, and I'm sorry to have to say this, Fanny Craddock.
Okay, well, Ofcom might be in touch.
I apologise about that.
I am very sorry.
But that's what she was called.
Totally I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
One of the things the only thing I can remember Fanny Craddock ever saying was, it's very non-you to go to the loo in other people's houses. Which is apparently true.
She was incredibly posh.
The upper class do not like going to the loo in other people's houses. It's very non-you.
It is non-you, and I promised people I said I'm going to ring Nick Abbott this weekend and drop a bombshell about a celebrity chef.
Yeah,
but now I'm having second thoughts.
You could drop a bombshell, but not in somebody else's loo.
Correct. And not in your house.
Never in my house. You wouldn't even get past the door.
And, you mentioned Fanny Craddock. She was very posh.
Yes.
And you've just triggered something in my mind, actually, about Delia Smith.
Well, hang on a minute. Why did you mention Graham Kerr right at the top, the Galloping Gourmet?
Because I used to beg to go home. I didn't want to go to school dinners because I didn't enjoy school dinners. And my school was 5 minutes walk up the road.
Yeah.
And I would say to my mum and dad, can I go home for school dinners? And I used to watch Graham Kerr.
Graham Kerr. Isn't that weird? Because so did I. I mean, what was the attraction? He was making food that you would never, ever, ever, ever make yourself. And the whole thing was about, I mean, I guess it's an entire anybody under the age of, what shall we say, 60 has got no idea what we're talking about. But he was quite the big deal back in the sort of early to mid-1970s. And he sort of brought modernism into the presentation of cookery shows. And at the end there was always this sort of slimy sexual moment where he would drag a woman out of the audience to come and eat the thing that he'd just prepared. And they'd sort of coo and ooze over it and like, I mean, it was practically they were having relations.
Disgusting.
On afternoon television. You believe that?
I can't believe we've just had a slimy sexual moment together on the radio. And one time you blew me out when I asked you to go to the cinema with me.
Never. That's never going to happen, John. I don't recall ever saying that, but can I just reiterate that is the fact?
But yeah, he did used to drag someone out of the audience at the end of the programme, but also he wore like a blazer like Alan Partridge.
Yeah, with shiny buttons.
Yeah, and he was like this sort of... I think he was Canadian.
No, he's Australian. He was Australian, wasn't he?
Australian.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But he sort of played the part of a sort of archetypal Englishman. And then... But also, some of the humour as he was knocking together these meals was a little bit bawdy, you know. It was like... and the old ladies in the audience, you know...
Oh, like that. He's going to say knickers any minute. Oh, like that.
Yeah, look at that, yeah.
It was a bit lascivious. That's a good word.
I think that you need a bit of correction for coming out with that word on the radio.
Lascivious. There you go.
He was definitely lascivious. And you mentioned tractors just before I came on.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Because like, everyone needs to...
but why did you bring up Graham Kerr, though? You still haven't answered that question. What's he got to do with it?
No, just because it's whimsical and just because he was fantastic compared to TV at the moment, daytime TV.
But why would his name come to mind? I mean, he hasn't been on TV for 50 years.
Oh, because I'm some sad person that watches YouTube and like...
Oh, he's still on there, is he? Right.
Yeah, you can find him. You can find him. He's there.
Right.
But also, Delia Smith. I've got to tell you the Delia Smith story.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned Fanny Craddock.
Yeah.
And Delia Smith, I can't remember if I saw an interview or if I heard that she said this, but she said, people always ask me, you know, what recipes to do with leftover wine.
Leftover wine?
Yeah.
Is there such a thing? I've never come across leftover wine. What does that mean? You've left wine in the bottle? Why would you do that?
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, Delia Smith then says to people, what do you mean, effing leftover wine?
That actually sounds like Delia. I only was in her presence. I didn't meet her, but I was in her presence once. And she was coming out of a radio studio as I was going in. And all I knew about Delia was how she was this lovely, fluffy, sort of soft-focused person on the telly, where everything was lovely
like you.
Lovely. Yeah, that's right. Everything was lovely and fluffy and soft-focus. And it was lovely, lovely, lovely with Delia. And then she walked past me, and it was like, I was actually physically scared. I don't know why, but she just had this presence. Maybe it's because she was like super famous, and I wasn't really used to being in the presence of super famous people off the telly. But she made me actually frightened. I was just rooted to the spot as she wafted by. And it was probably entirely my fault, and I was misreading the situation and her her presence. But
do you know what's happening right now?
She scared me.
She's in the bar of the Goose and Cuckoo.
Is she?
And she's 10 sheets to the wind, talking to some Welsh guy saying, I met Nick Abbot once.
Yeah, very unlikely, but that's an interesting story you just cooked up for us there, John. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, Graham Kerr was a big thing, and I don't know why. I don't know why I watched it, because why would I watch that? I mean, I wasn't a cook. I wasn't really interested in food. About as interested as I was avoiding semolina, whatever that is. Oh, and vegetable medley. Oh.
Disgusting.
Vegetable medley. I mean, each one of those vegetables on its own, perfectly fine. Chop them up into cubes and put them in a can, and it's just about the worst thing that has ever been served to humankind. Figure that out, I double dare you. 0345 6060 973. Merthyr Tydfil. Hello, Jeff.
Well, I can't get on this program about the Goose and Cuckoo being mentioned. Anyway, listen, Nick, listen.
Yes.
What if, I've been sitting here thinking, what if Trump says up in Scotland, what's going on in the media around here? Could a couple of you guys listen to this and that and whatever?
No.
And come back to me and tell me something, you know? And what if they come back with you?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be going down that road at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning when you finish, and you know, hunched over your wheel of your.
And there'll be a bag over my head, and I'll be on a plane to El Salvador.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, there's a little possibility. Anyway.
Well, don't think that I haven't thought about that. I mean, because he's the kind of man who would insist on, well, I will give you a free trade deal, Great Britain, but you must deliver me the following people. I want you to tie them at the ankles and hang them from the ceiling.
We may be laughing here.
Yes,
but we may not be laughing.
I know, it's all right for you.
Yeah, well, I'll be in the back of the Goose and Cuckoo.
The Goose and Cuckoo, right? Well, that's where he should look for you first. In fact, I would just launch a couple of missiles in that direction, and we'll see what we hit.
Okay, right. News from Wales.
Yeah.
You know this Jeremy Corbyn has set up a party. I've got a name.
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to revolutionise this, that, and all the other. We've now, in 10 months' time, the first test in an election will be of the Senate and the Labour Party and the Conservatives and all that, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the first voting exercise that we are going to look at. Farage, well, it's the party is not even a political party; it's a limited company, isn't he? And he's a CEO,
right? I understood from him, just to interrupt just one moment, that he was going to fix that it wasn't going to be that anymore, but as far as I'm aware, that never actually happened. Can you imagine that? Something that Nigel Farage promised never actually happened.
Okay.
Message coming in from next door. It is a registered party, yeah, but it's also a company, isn't it?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, that
hang on,
has been
Jeff.
rectified and is now a proper political party.
Right.
Is it?
But I thought that they said they were going to rectify it, but then they actually didn't. They were going to sell the shares or divest the shares or something like that, and they didn't. But what do I know on this or any other subject? Let's just assume that they're legal, decent, honest, and true. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, enter the arena, so to speak, is this nameless party, which apparently is raging along 180,000 members or whatever, and it hasn't even got a name.
Right.
And in which, so Farage has decreed there will be no Welsh leader of reform. He's going to do it.
He's going to give it his full attention, along with the 10 outside jobs he's got, and the small matter of being the representative for Clacton, right?
I think the latest earnings is just approaching 1 million, isn't it? Since he's been an MP.
God.
It's incredible.
It is.
But so the whole of this Senate election, the same in Scotland, there's going to be elections up there as well. Is now in such a state of disarray, and we have a new the Hoyt voting system where you vote for the party, not for the people. So heaven knows
what
does
that mean? How does that differ from how it is now? I mean, people.
Well, you get a name and you put an X next to a name. Yeah, more.
But it also has the logo of the party, though, surely.
Yeah. You've got the logo of the party, the name of the party. You vote for that as a preference thing.
But it's not the name. I mean, people. I know supposedly people don't vote for a government; they vote for their local MP. But that's not really what happens. People vote for the party that they want to govern, not whatever name it is that they barely heard of on the next to the appropriate logo. Yeah,
but it's complicated because you do a preference. You put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
right,
6. And so the whole thing is in the lap of the gods.
Oh, it could take forever.
So where this one's going is it's pretty good. But what I was saying, what I was trying to get over was that the whole of this voting system, which we want, I think, if I remember in previous conversations with you, you were in favour of proportional representation. Am I correct?
It depends on who wins, Jeff. And I'd like to be very clear about that.
Okay, right. That's fair enough. I feel the same way. But so the end result of all this is chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I thought I'd leave you with that sort of happy note. You know?
Situation normal in Merthyr Tydfil. Chaotic.
Yes. Yes. NFM. Yes, as you pointed
normal
out.
for Merthyr. Yeah. Okay. Excellent work, Jeff. Thanks a lot.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Nobody knows who the hell he is.
Ollie texts, Nick, do you think that the UK-India trade deal will result in cheaper food, clothing and footwear straight away?
We could have cheaper food, clothing and footwear straight away by getting rid of the protectionist anti-trade tariffs that the EU imposes. And it would be very good for the British people and it would provide certainty. And I think once there's certainty, the country will begin to reunite.
It's just a big grey sigh. Still not missing you, Smug, by the way, in case you were wondering. But if we do, we know where to find you. You'll be with Dave in the shed where they keep the tools.
I think this is nonsense.
0345 6060 973. Cumbernauld. Andrew.
Evening, Nick. How's life treating you today?
Pretty good, thanks.
Sun headlines are tabloid headlines.
Yes.
It was normally the Sun that was very, very good at those, no matter how much of a ragged that you might think it is.
Whoever was writing the headlines, I mean, I would imagine they were specifically employed for that task and didn't do any other job because they were very, very good.
Can you remember when George Michael got caught in his embarrassing situation in L.A.?
Well, I can remember that, yes, but I don't recall the headline.
The headline was "Zip me up before you go."
Before you go. Rock and roll! Right, that is also a good one, yeah.
Yes, and when the Fairgate was developed the taste for travel just like her now ex-hubby, and when she was taking her umpteenth holiday of the year at one point, she went off, I think it was Thailand.
Yeah.
And the Sun headline was, "Where the Phuket is Fergie."
Phuket is Fergie. Yeah, you see, I mean, it's an art form, being that because you have to distill an idea and also be funny in very, very few words to fit on the front page of a newspaper.
But just like 30 years later, I can remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously, it creates the right impression.
Well, it takes you by the eyeballs and it makes you want to read that newspaper. So, I mean, that's the whole of the front headline writer is you've got to sell the newspaper and grab eyeballs. Yeah.
And I don't know whether I've maybe suggested this one before, but for your Trump nickname list, Trumpty Numpty.
I understand what you're doing there, Andrew, but I don't think it's biting enough to get on the list.
Yes, but it's not quite past cutting the mustard for you.
No, exactly right. Yes, precisely that. All right, but other than that, good work. Thanks a lot, Andrew. 0345 6060 973. I'd say Corfu, what a scorcher, could possibly be the greatest headline of all time. I mean, Freddie Starr ate my hamster is a very, very long headline. It's obviously absurd, but it does half stick in the memory, don't it? But for just something as simple as the weather, Corfu, what a scorcher. I mean, how did they come up with that? They must have been sitting around a table, just racking their brains, scratching their hair out, and then one of them's like, "Oh, I've got it!" And then they're all down the pub. Like 11 o'clock in the morning. Day's over, as it used to be. 0345 6060 973. Hyde Park. No. It's a call about Hyde Park from a person in York called Jan. Jan.
Hello, Nick.
Jan.
How are you tonight?
I am great, mate. What's up with Hyde Park?
Well, last week you were talking about the Swifts, weren't you, pinching sandwiches?
Oh, yeah. People were saying that Swifts were a bit timid, but not in my experience. They're quite bold and aggressive.
I don't think it would be Swifts that were pinching sandwiches because they only eat insects, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
Right. How do you know that?
Well, I just do.
It's something you just made up.
No, it's true.
Are you lying to me, Jan?
No, I'm not.
Right.
I think I probably heard about it when I used to watch Spring Watch, you know, I probably heard it on there. But I have checked it up recently, and it is true.
But if I laid out a sandwich in front of a Swift, do you seriously think that it would ignore it in favour of eating some disgusting insect? Because have you swallowed an insect ever?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, no.
Well, you'd know it if you had. It's not it's not the nicest thing to take. In fact, I mean, if you were a bird, Jan, you'd probably hold your wings tight against your body and throw yourself out of a tree rather than face another day of eating insects.
Yeah, you see, but they love them. And how did these birds... Were they on the ground?
When?
When they... did they come down on the ground to get your sandwiches?
Oh, yes, they sort of descend in clouds around. There's a cafe by the lake in Hyde Park.
Well, did they land on the ground?
Yes, they landed on the ground. Yeah, they landed on the ground and on the tables and on the chairs and on the umbrellas and everything.
That's not Swifts. They never land on the ground. They do everything in the air.
Oh, really?
Everything. Disgusting. Yeah,
everything.
Even that. They never land on the ground.
Well, where do they sleep?
In the air.
How do they do that?
Well, I don't know, but it's true, they do. They eat, drink, sleep, mate, everything in the air. The only time they land is when they're on the nest.
Eat, drink, sleep, repeat. I've heard that song. Wait a minute, the only time they land is when they're on the nest. Well, that's where they sleep then.
No, they don't. They just feed the little ones.
Right.
They swoop in, feed the little ones, and swoop out
again. Yeah.
And I think you got the colour wrong. You said they were black and greeny mottled, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like an unlovely, mottled, greasy kind of appearance.
Yeah, that's not Swift.
Right. Well, what is it then?
I think the starlings you're thinking of.
Oh, right. Well, isn't a starling a Swift? I think it probably is.
Well, not really, no.
You're being very disagreeable, Jan.
I know I am. It's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there would be starlings.
Starlings, right.
But it's sort of, walking about as if they own the place.
Exactly. A very malevolent gait.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right.
Aggressive little things, and they have pointy beaks and a certain a certain sort of Darth Vader-iness about them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're black with iridescent. It looks like petrol in water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly right. Yes.
Yeah.
By Jove, I think you've got it.
Yeah, starlings.
Starlings.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Swifts, you idiot.
Yeah, definitely.
But, it's a bird and it begins with S. I mean, they're all the blooming same, aren't they?
Well, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
almost.
they could probably tell the difference, but I, not really.
Can I just say something about when I said, how are you?
Yeah.
First thing.
Mm-hmm.
I nearly didn't say it tonight because I was listening to your What's Your Problem on Monday. And you were talking about that, weren't you?
The podcast that I do with Carol McGiffin.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about people saying, how are you, when they call you.
Yes.
So I thought, oh dear, I better not say it.
No, I think it's nice to say. It's just you're sort of preparing the ground for what it is you're about to say. I mean,
that's right.
It's just polite.
Be polite.
Always.
I'll continue then.
Yeah.
And on the same thing, you mentioned Dan Maskell.
Did I?
Yeah, tennis commentator.
Oh, yes, not in this show, but previously, yeah. Dan, you mean when I was talking to Carol McGiffin?
Oh, right, yeah.
On the podcast, What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, which is a problem-solving podcast.
Yeah. If only we had commentators like him now, eh?
Then it would be less intrusive and annoying watching the tennis. I mean, the tennis would still be a bit dull. Boring! But at least the irritation level wouldn't be through the roof, where those commentators just can't stop speaking.
Exactly. I mean, this year I was watching, and there was one woman on, I don't know who she was, I didn't recognise her voice, but heck, she went on and on and on, just twittering away about nothing, you know.
Yeah. Just filling the air with noise.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't watch tennis anymore, and the other is because, it's tennis.
Oh, darling. Tennis is good.
7-foot robots bashing the ball back and forward, emotionless, like robots.
Affirmative.
It was disappointing this year.
Right, who won?
Sinner.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, what's his name?
Sinner.
Yeah, you said that, but what's the guy called?
I don't know his first name.
Right. Excellent work there, Jan. Thanks a lot. By the way, how are you?
Fine.
Fine.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
You're joking.
Are you trying to tell me that this is your act?
This says, Nick, for your information, the word genitalia refers to the various reproductive organs collectively and therefore requires a plural verb form, as in the president's genitalia are very small.
Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to... I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
I appreciate the correction. This text says, do you think any of the people who think the doctors should take a 20% pay cut have considered that it might be them next? I'm saying not, says that texter. Yeah, the doctors. You want to talk about that? Oh, all right then. The Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, has warned that striking doctors must feel the pain of taking industrial action to prevent the spread of walkouts in other public sectors. The Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, wants doctors to feel pain, which is not much of a threat to people who have the keys to the medicine cupboard. They've got a painkiller that will crush anything you lay on them, Wes. Relieving pain is what they do for a living. The Health Secretary has instructed hospitals to minimise disruption to appointments as safely as possible, as up to 50,000 junior doctors, not called that anymore, stage a 5-day walkout in the latest row over pay. Resident doctors, that's what they're called now, like they live there. Formerly known as junior doctors, but which made them sound like children. They've called for a 29% pay increase and have taken to the picket lines across England land today as part of a 5-day walkout due to last until Wednesday. And this is because for the past 17 years, junior doctors, as they used to be called, and resident doctors, as they are now, have suffered a gradual erosion of pay. And as though, having been woken like a sleeping giant in a Disney cartoon, they want to play catch-up. And I agree that they've been stiffed by many governments in the intervening period since 2008, but why did they wait till there was a Labour government to air their grievances? Because now it looks like Labour is the problem, not the Tories, who were in power for almost all of that time. All the Tories gave them was a short round of applause for a few weeks on a Thursday. And they didn't really even put their backs into it, did they, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
And as usual, the Tories rip the country apart, sell what they can for pennies, and leave the country like an abandoned car with the engine gone and sitting up on bricks for the next owner to try and put back together. And the passengers, that's us lot, in this scenario, are sitting in the car complaining to the new driver that we aren't going anywhere.
Oh, fabulous.
It's not his fault. You know, if the doctors had acted when their pay had only slightly fallen back, then the Tories would have had to deal with this, not Labour. But they didn't. And now they want full restoration, which sounds like a huge pay rise, but really isn't. And Labour are being as how they're in power, they're getting the blame. And because we don't have any money, because the Tories allowed it all to be nicked, like some supermarket ram raid on steroids, now the Labour Party are going to have to act tough and deny the doctors the kind of money that they could get in Australia or Canada for half the work. Labour are forced to be mean because, for some reason, taxing the rich is not their thing. Oh, very sorry, can't be done. They'll leave, they say. We'll miss them when they're gone. It'll hurt us more than it hurts them. And all the other nonsense that the billionaire-owned British press has their star columnists write from their other homes in Dubai. So the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, said strike action should always be a last resort, not the action you take immediately following a 28.9% pay award from a government that is committed to working with you to improve your lives at work. And I think he's right about that. I mean, and I empathise with doctors. You know, if millionaires can move, so can doctors. And why should they put up with working for a pittance in poorly staffed, crumbling old buildings with sewage dripping from the ceilings? And doing it for half the cash they could earn, working fewer hours in a sparkly new hospital abroad, one that's spotlessly clean and fully stocked with nurses and machines that go ping. Resident doctors are on about a fifth less than they made in 2008, adjusted for inflation, which is a real thing and not just something you do with a balloon. Inflation. It's real money that they don't have now that they used to have then. And what's weird is that the response from people who seem to be triggered by anyone asking for more is that these doctors earn more than the average wage. And they do. But if you think that you want your health attended to by a minimum wage earner, then ask the man who washes your car what you should do with a growth on your area.
Disgusting.
I bet you'd get arrested if you told him about the growth on your area, let alone shown him. Here, mate, have you ever seen anything like this before? I mean, the argument goes that doctors are being greedy, and that's based on them earning more than most people. But I'd say that isn't an argument for doctors to earn less. It's an argument for everybody else to earn more. And I know what the reaction to this is going to be. People who haven't got 2 pennies to rub together will furiously call me up to yell at me that that's communism, that is. It's the politics of envy, that is. You know, it's that cap-doffing mentality that the only people that deserve rewards are those that already have it all. It's that defines Britain. We don't like jumped-up little socialists asking for more. We defend the right of our betters to cream off all the wealth in the economy, to hoard it in castles and mansions and palaces, and we, the little people, should know our place. But ask an aristo what you should do about your poorly arm, they'll probably suggest you chop it off and throw it to their dogs. And we genuflect before them and say we appreciate your opinion. We're grateful for your time, my lord.
Thank you.
Of course, I may have gone a little bit overboard there. Somehow we went from doctor's strike to the master's hounds eating our limbs. Can't recall how we got there. I may be ill. Got a bit of a fever, perhaps. I should see a doctor. Oh, no, that's right. You can't. There's a hole in my bucket. 0345 6060 973. Glasgow. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Nick.
Margaret.
Nick, earlier on you were discussing chefs on TV. Chefs of a bygone age.
Yes. Do you remember Graham Kerr?
Oh, yes. He's very recent in terms of my age.
Oh, is he? Just yesterday. Right, I got it. Well, who was before that, then?
Well, of course, the Craddocks. And do you remember one called way before the Craddocks? Not maybe way before the Craddocks, but he certainly preceded him. Philip Harbin.
No. Who he?
Well, he was a rotund little chef.
Yes.
Very straight-faced. Very, he should never have been on television.
Right.
But I think he was the first chef. There may have been one before him, I don't know, but he certainly preceded the ones you were talking about earlier.
Well, did he have a thing? You know, did he have an act? Did he have a
Oh no, he didn't have an act.
No. Because Graham Kerr, he had a thing, didn't he? He did this sort of I keep coming back to the word lascivious. He had this sort of sexual thing going on with the ladies in the front row.
Not at all.
I think so. Yes.
No, he stood behind his counter all the time.
I know that, but then at the end, when he cooked his whatever it was, he used to run into the audience.
I don't remember anything other than this pan-faced little guy standing there. He had a beard.
Who, Graham Kerr?
Oh, you're talking about the lascivious Graham Kerr?
The Graham, not the guy that you mentioned. I don't know anything about him at all. I'll just assume that lascivious.
Well, you'll have to bone up on your chef.
Certainly will do nothing of the sort, Margaret. But thanks for the suggestion.
You're welcome.
All right, cheers, my dear. Ta-da. 0345 6060 973. This text says, Chris in Stubbington, he says, "Hi, Nick, did you see that AI video of Trump watching President Obama being arrested?" No, I did not. Trump has taken the USA and turned it into a laughingstock. Hopefully that gets me onto a list. Trump is in urgent need of a stupidity bypass. Yeah, he actually released an AI video, Donald Trump did, of President Obama being arrested. What a giant flaming ass that man is. I mean, really. And also, by his own hand, Donald Trump has forgiven any past or future president of anything they may or may not have done. He had that part. Any president, then this was specifically about Trump, but of course it applies to other presidents as well, they cannot be found liable for any action they took as president, which is a get-out-of-jail-free card for Donald Trump, but also for every other president who's ever existed. And anything that they've done or will subsequently be accused of, they are now legally innocent of. Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
Even him. Even W. Who said precious little, by the way, since he left office. I mean, Obama weighs in every now and again. Sleepy Joe says something occasionally. But haven't heard nothing from W.
Absolutely.
Not one single solitary word. He's just keeping his head down. Well, he doesn't need to. Donald Trump can come at him with all guns blazing and, maybe not literally, but, figuratively, legally speaking, he can accuse him of anything he wants, and there's no court in the land or in the world that could convict him. This is just a reminder that, for your information, the word genitalia refers to the various reproductive organs collectively and therefore requires a plural verb form. I'm just repeating this for grammar students. And the plural verb form is as follows. The president's genitalia are very small.
Oh, shut up!
I'm just trying to help. Am I helping yet?
No.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And I like him. He's a good man. He is not a racist. I can tell you that. He's a good person.
Thanks, Donnie. You're the best. You're the best worst person currently alive. Catherine in Tunbridge Wells says, do you think that Trump will wear a kilt while visiting Scotland? No, Catherine. Kilts do not come in his size. They'd have to sew two together.
Don't be rude.
San Francisco. Hello, Mike.
Hello there, Nick. I've got a headline for you. It's an old one.
Yes.
It goes back to remember 1999 switching over to 2000, and everybody thought the world was going to come to an end.
Yeah.
You remember that?
And nothing happened.
And my friend, Right. My friend worked in the newspaper business, and he wrote a headline for his paper, and it was Yawn 2K. YAWN 2K. And I thought that was one of the cleverest ones I had ever heard. But I didn't think it was funny entirely because I worked for a radio station which had a software program which I am convinced is the only one in the world that actually failed because of the transition between 1999 and 2000.
Wow, really?
And I called the developer of the software that I knew very well, and I said, your software failed. And he said, well, it's not my problem anymore. I'm opening a pizza restaurant. So we had to get new. And he wasn't a pedophile, by the way. He just liked pizza. He opened a pizza restaurant.
Right. Pizza restaurants
we had to find...
not necessarily associated with paedophilia, no, but only in the mind of the so far gone MAGAs that they'll never find their way back to reality.
Yes, that's true. But anyway, we had to find a whole new piece of software. But Yawn 2K is one of my favorite headlines of all time.
Well, it has the benefit of being very, very brief and precise, and sums up the entire story in just 6 characters, which is actually totally brilliant when you think about it. Excellent work there, Mike. Thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Y2K is Yawn 2K. I bet you can't get a more precise headline than that actually tells you what the entire story is while also being funny. That's pretty good. I mean, previously I thought that Corfu, What a Scorcher might be the most brief and to the point. But Yawn 2K has it beat. Tom in Southsea says, "Hi Nick, if Trump wants to take a leaf out of Boris Johnson's book and hide from the press while out there, then he could blend in perfectly in the Iron Brew Factory." Yeah, they got walk-in fridges there, Bodge.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Leave him alone. He's doing his best. God, can you remember that? Time and time again, people would be calling in saying exactly that. Oh, don't be so mean. He's doing his best. Like he's a child. Hollyache. Hello, Nora.
Hiya.
Not Holly.
Hollyache.
Hollyache.
That doesn't work.
Hoylake.
That's right.
Hoylake, yes.
Sorry, I was just in the fridge. I've been waiting that long. I got hungry, so I was just getting some cheese and biscuits.
Cheese and biscuits.
No, cheese and biscuits. Well, yeah, cheese and this absolutely gorgeous red onion.
Oh, that is good stuff with cheese. Red onion.
We know how to live in Hoylake.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, isn't that weird that guy before... who was it? It wasn't John. It was the one before John. James in Mallorca. He's in the super yacht industry because my daughter's in the super yacht industry.
Oh, yeah.
And she's on... I thought he was talking about her, actually, because she texted me last night and she said, we've got... This is Triple V IPs on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But she couldn't tell me who because she's had to sign an injunction to say that...
Oh...
I know. I'll find out eventually, but she said, I can't tell you yet, Mum, because they're still here and you'll only blab it to everyone.
Well,
so
are they actors?
I don't know.
Are they sports persons?
I'm guessing they're business or political. I think it's probably political.
Right.
Person. Yeah, given the... Yeah. But she's on a super yacht as well, but hers is only 120 metres. Still big, though. I think that's quite double the last one she was on.
It's 120 metres bigger than my yacht.
Yeah. She got sacked from the last one.
Why is that?
Because, well, we had a bit of a travesty in the family. We lost our dog 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
I mean, we didn't lose him. Didn't go out and lose him in the park or anything. He actually died. She actually died.
Okay.
And it was her dog, so she came home and they sacked her.
Really?
Well, I mean, I thought it was a little bit extreme. I know we were all very upset, but she didn't have to leave it anyway, so that was it. But we've got 2 gorgeous little replacements.
Oh.
So,
what
bye-bye, Courgette.
What kind of Courgette? You did not call your dog Courgette.
The dead one was called Courgette, but these 2
now, did it die of embarrassment? Or is it too soon to joke?
No, right, we've got past it now.
Okay.
It's kind of, we've got the two little ones now.
So you were really standing in the middle of a park, yelling at the top of your voice, courgette, whenever it would run away?
Yeah, but she didn't run away very much. But yes, so that was the call to heel call, yeah. She was very good as well, but she corgi, you see. And if you see, my daughter's a big fan. It was her dog. I just had it because she took off to the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So when she's a big Les Miserables fan, and one of the punchlines in Corg, if I've seen it, and they say courgette as the child's name.
I have not seen Les Miserables. No, I must be among the few people on earth who has not sat through the 36 hours of that.
I think you have to be a teenage girl to really appreciate it.
Really?
Something about teenage girls, about 15, it really clicks with them. I don't know what, the music or the plot or what. But anyway, so she did them, but she still loves it now. Anyway, but it's part of the one of the jokes, the running jokes in it. Sacha Baron Cohen was the deliverer of. And now we've got, listen, Corbyn. So the corgis, you see, so Corbyn. Mm-hmm. And the other one's Gordon.
Gordon?
Yeah. We tried to keep the Labour Party theme going.
As in Brown?
Well, he is quite brown, yeah.
Gordon.
Yeah, two favourite leaders of the Labour Party. Right. So that's who we've got. And they're absolutely gorgeous. Little, oh, God, I can't tell you. Anyway, and then the other thing I was going to ask you, if you wouldn't mind, next time you speak to Jan, would you ask her what the difference between a swallow and a swift is? I mean, it sounds a little bit like I'm setting you up for a dirty joke.
Well, it does,
really
yeah. Do you know what the difference between no, I screwed that up.
I know what the difference between a swallow and a starling is, for God's sake. We get those mixed up.
Do you know what the difference between unlawful and illegal is?
I don't. I had it explained to me once and I've forgotten. Can you tell me?
No, I'm afraid not, Nora.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
Cheers, my dear. Thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. What is the difference between a swallow and a swift? I think that was explained to us at great length, and I can't. I should have been paying attention, but I wasn't. I can't remember which is which now. Either the swallow doesn't land or the swift doesn't land. One of the two. Anyway, they're both after your sandwich, so watch it. Tom in Southsea says, Nick, if Trump wants to take a... Oh, no, I've read that. I wish I'd stop doing that. Keep rereading the same thing over and over and over again. Delete as you go, you idiot. Jed in Bury says, I bet Adam the Scab took the last pay rise, though. Who's Adam? I don't agree with this strike, but Adam coined it whilst others lost money. What's he talking about? Do you know what he's talking about? Huh?
Well, I'm looking into it more.
We're looking into it. Yeah, that sounds like a no. No. He doesn't know. He's saying no.
Yes.
This says, a strange phenomenon. Donald Trump will be calling your show this evening. I do hope you treat him with the utmost respect, as you do all of your first-time callers. 3 exclamation marks, like he's shouting at me. Let's see now. Who's been waiting the longest? I'll be very fair about this. Wimborne. Hello, Liz.
Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
I am great, mate.
I looked up how swifts can sleep when they're in the air last year because I was interested, and then I've held on to this little nugget of information ever since, and lo and behold, this is the time to say it. So, and it also ties in with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So some birds can, a lot of birds can turn half their brain off, send it to sleep, and use the other half.
What?
Yes, and then they put that half to sleep and wake up the other half, and that's how they do their long migrations, and that's how swifts can sleep when they're in the air.
Wow. And coincidentally, that's how I do this show.
Well, and that's how Donald Trump runs the country, and that's how we got into pork markets, and
yes,
you know,
all of that. Yeah,
all of that.
You're supposed to turn on your brain, half of your brain, after a while, Liz.
Absolutely.
She forgot about the turning it on back on part.
And swallows have longer tail feathers than swifts.
Right, but I'd need to see one side by side to
Yeah.
tell the difference.
Well, they're really, really long tail feathers on a swallow.
Right.
But, I mean, yeah, you probably do need to see one side to side.
Doesn't that tip it backwards if it has really, really long... I mean, I suppose birds know what they're doing, but
Do they
would
have
think
a central point where they pivot
they
around?
pivot, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, a pivot point on a bird, yeah. Well, somebody should locate that. And we'll look into it very, very strongly, Liz. Don't you worry about that.
Thank you.
Excellent work. Thanks a lot. Cheers, my dear. OK, message coming in from next door. This is what AI says, brackets, it must be true. The term Adam the Scab in the context of a pay rise likely refers to Adam Couch, the chief executive of Cranswick, a food producer. A news article from Yorkshire Post indicates that he received a substantial pay increase which was met with criticism due to a recent scandal involving... I can't say any of that.
Well, I mean, it's
Why
alleged,
are you giving me
from this article, and you are reading a news report rather than giving your own opinion.
Right, OK. Well, my opinion is that I don't wish to know anything about that, and I'd like to take it all back and apologise.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
I'm very apologetic. Jed in Bury says, no, that's the one that got me into trouble in the first place. This says, a strange premonition. No, I've read that one as well. God. If only there was somebody who could delete the messages for me after I read them. I suppose I'll just have to do it myself. But you know me, I never complain.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
This says, has Trump flown in because there's a summit on whether... hang on. That's better. Has Trump flown in because there is a summit on whether or not killing Scottish seagulls should be allowed? I think he's very pro-gun shooting. Yeah, he's very pro-gun shooting, and he's very, very against wind and the causes of wind.
I know a lot about wind. I know a lot about wind.
He knows a lot about wind. Ain't that right, Melania?
I don't care.
Yeah, separate bedrooms. She's not remotely bothered. Separate bedrooms in different houses.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Shut up.
I can't. 0345 606 0973. Let me just remind you that me and Carol McGiffin do a podcast.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we were mentioning it in the show earlier on, but I didn't give you many of the details.
Oh, right, yeah.
Now, it's a problem-solving podcast. If you have a problem, an issue, a conundrum, something you had always wondered about, then simply leave it in the hands of the unprofessionals and email it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com. nickandcarol@global.com, and prepare to be totally satisfied, yes?
No.
Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? You will find that they are getting on for... Now, have we done 300 or 200? I can't remember. But anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's at least 250, something there or thereabouts. It's either 250 or 350, I can't recall. But they come out twice a week. I think you'll love them. Ask for it by name. On an internet near you, what's your problem with Nick and Carol? Bodmin. Hello, Malcolm.
Oh, hello, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Couple of things. The prodigal has returned to Scotland, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's an odd one, I think. In that
he certainly is.
He's half Scottish. He's got big money invested in Scotland, and the Scots do not take very kindly to him. Do they?
Hate him.
Some don't.
Yeah.
And I don't put this. The Prime Minister is going up there
mm-hmm.
to meet him. To
crawl across the carpet and beg for favours.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think that they're going to do a deal, because that's what they do.
A deal? Yeah, but what is a deal? A deal isn't like what the paper is printed on with Donald Trump, because he just completely ignores it the moment he's signed it. Does his big boy squiggle, and then he throws it away.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a deal, right? Yeah. Just accept it. It's a deal. And then the thing I really phoned up for was the new party which was launched this week.
Oh.
And the huge confusion, but there wasn't any really, because once it was explained, it was so obvious. The confusion over the name.
Yeah.
Now, you imagine you and me, we meet up, and you've got to suspend reality here slightly, just for 30 seconds, right?
Right.
We meet up down at the pub, as we usually do, and it's election time.
Mhm.
It's election time, and you say to me, hey, Mark, who are you going to vote for this time?
Yeah,
And I say,
that's my line. Hey, Malcolm, who are you going to vote for this time?
Your party, Nick.
Oh, my party?
No, my party.
Whose party?
Your party.
My party?
Yeah, my party. So the point I'm making, Nick, is this, right? A huge opportunity was missed by Corbyn, but then again, he couldn't do it because it would have sounded arrogant and all the rest of it, because he should have called it my party. Now, it isn't called your party. That was just Corbyn saying it's your party. It's a party for you, yeah?
Yes.
But he should have called it my party, because then when you met me down the pub and you asked me who you voted for, Mark, I would have said my party, and I'd been absolutely correct, wouldn't I?
You mean your party?
No, my party.
Well, let me ask you this: who's on first?
Who's what?
Who's on first?
Yeah, but look, the point I make is this: he was crotchety as Labour leader. He's going to be crotchety of your party, or is it my party? And it's a word, the crotchety. It's a word I knew of, but it's perfect for him. Look it up. It is so fitting, because he's on an interview this evening, and wow, he just so aggressive towards the person asking him the questions. I think he'll go a long way in politics. Do you not think?
Well, the further the better. If that's the question you're asking me, yeah.
But no. But what I don't get, Nick, is he's starting a new party, and the media reporters, or the people who cover politics in the media, are seriously asking the question: who will he take votes from? And my answer is literally, in my view, nobody, because he lost the 2019 election massively to, of all people, Boris Johnson, and he was soon dispatched. Now, his claim to fame was he was a Labour agitator, wasn't he? He hated the establishment. He was for the working classes. But now he's starting up a new party, and it's just a mess, Nick, isn't it?
Well, the good people of Islington know a positive representative when they see one, because they just kept electing him over and over and over again. He made a positive difference to people's lives there, which is why you would hire an MP in the first place.
So there is such a good thing. There is such a thing, I think, as a good constituency MP. There is. But I think that's as far as his talents run. I don't think he is leadership material.
Well, it depends on who you're trying to attract. If you're trying to attract the kids seem to be positively disposed towards him.
Well, the question again that was asked, the question goes, who are you going to take votes for?
Labour. He's going to take votes from. He's going to take votes from young Labourites.
But the point is, Nick, all of those people now, after the last election and the 2019 election and his manifesto, which promised the world to everybody, the question is, what's he going to promise this time? That's undeliverable.
Oh, well, you could say that about absolutely everybody. You could say that about Farage and whatever the Tories are going to come up with next time, and Labour's fantastical promises. It's all nonsense, and we know that.
No, I suppose Labour's got the opposite problem. They didn't promise the things they are delivering. That's their problem, isn't it?
Well, it's one of their problems. The biggest one at the moment being communications, and also the mess of a country that has been left for them. I mean, they're putting out fires, and they will continue to do so for years, I would expect, while being blamed for the fire existing in the first place.
Yeah, well, I think the president, Nick, I think his trip to Scotland is going to be a huge huge success. So that's my thoughts anyway.
Okay. All right, I don't know what would constitute success in this regard. No one dies. Maybe that. It's going to be a huge, nobody has ever seen such a huge success, believe me. There'll be numbers, no one's ever seen such numbers. Well, there'll be 1,000 and 5,600. These are numbers no one's ever heard before. This text says, the weather these days has made forecasts irrelevant. We went to see the debut gig of a local singer called Han in a beer garden. My weather app changed the time of the rain, stopping every half an hour. We did end up out in the rain for about an hour, but it was definitely worth it, as Han was brilliant. It brightened up at about 7. If I can name the pub, it was the Morton Hall in Bury St Edmunds. No, you cannot mention the pub. Now, was Han part of a group, or was Han solo? Bang up-to-date reference, kids. Star Wars, look it up. Richard in Kinver in Staffordshire says, hi Nick, gotcha has to be one of the most famous, infamous headlines ever when a British submarine sank the General Belgrano in the Falklands War. Yes, if memory serves, it was the one that was sailing away from us, and Margaret Thatcher decided to kill them all anyway. Slightly the wrong one. I meant to press the one immediately above it, which would have made sense. That makes sense. Sam in Cambridge says, after his flight, I bet his tree stump ankles won't fit. Prepare yourself, Donny. You're not going to like it. Sam in Cambridge says, after his flight, I bet his tree stump ankles won't fit into his golfing shoes. They might need a blacksmith to fit him with spiked hooves.
Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Ever talk to the president that way? Let's see now. Plymouth. Hello, Julie.
Hello, Nick.
Julie.
Nick, can I ask you? I haven't listened to yours and Carol's program show today.
What?
No, but I will. I'll listen to it tomorrow.
Okay.
But you didn't talk about Cleo Lane, did you?
No, we didn't.
We didn't. Oh, so I can't blame that one.
Yeah, that's not our fault. No, I mean, Carol and me have had a tendency to mention a celebrity one week, only to find out that they died within days of us mentioning them.
I've heard that you've been blamed for Ozzy, but that's only a rumour.
I'm not sure we mentioned Ozzy either. It may have crossed my mind. Maybe I have the power to kill somebody just by thinking about them.
Maybe you and Carol could do an extra show and talk about
a list of. Yeah, we could make a list of people for me to talk about. Yeah, me and Carol. But yeah, this started really quite a long while ago now, and it just the evidence kept building up that as soon as we would talk about somebody, they would be dead within days. It was kind of alarming.
Well, please don't talk about David Attenborough or Shirley Bassey.
No.
They're two of my faves.
Don't even say that out loud, Julie.
Exactly, not to you.
No.
So let's move on to swifts.
Yes, go ahead.
For the lady swift swallows, sun martins, house martins, they all migrate from Africa, North Africa, I think. They all are very similar, but they've got different tails, different wingspans.
Yeah.
And some of them have white bellies. So, yeah, if that helps. And I can't believe you've never seen a murmur of starlings. It's so beautiful.
Oh, well, yes, I have, yeah, but...
You didn't realise that was the bird?
No, well, you can't see them because they're all, in a big moving cloud. You can't see them up close and see what they actually look like. There's just a big...
No, but that is them.
Amorphous cloud of birdage.
I went to... I was thinking about moving to the Isle of Lewis.
What would you want to do that for?
Because I do I like the peace, I like the emptiness, I like the coast, I like the scenery.
Right.
And so I went to, I flew from Plymouth to Glasgow, and it was summertime a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the only friendly I went outside to have an apple, and the only friendly thing I met at, because it was the first time I'd been to an airport where there was people walking around with guns. And the only friendly thing I met was a starling that obviously wanted my apple core. because people going into the airport seemed angry, and people coming out of the airport seemed angry. But I realised it's probably just the Scottish Glasgow accent. Sorry, people from Glasgow.
Yeah, they weren't angry. They're probably damp. It creates a certain irritation.
Well, I decided not. It was a very beautiful island, and but I don't know. I don't think the people were that friendly there.
Well, what would you do there? I mean, I imagine that outsiders are not a thing that the locals have to deal with very much.
Well, tourists, yeah.
Yeah, that's different, though. I mean, somebody coming to live there among them.
Yeah,
I bet
that's it.
I bet you're treated as an outsider forever.
Yeah, that's true. But beautiful beaches, beautiful place. But obviously Donnie's mum is from there, and I thought, I don't know. I'm not sure it's the island. It's a beautiful place. I'm not sure whether
you're not sure you want to live in a place that it's quite possible that Donald Trump would want to visit in the future.
Exactly. I'm staying where I am.
Yeah. Yes. Hide in a crowd, Julie. He'll never find you.
I hope not.
And I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, ta-da.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
He thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. He doesn't.
Scott in West Hampstead says, do you think that Donald will be shooting haggis on the Scottish moors in between his multiple rounds of golf? I think that Donald Trump will be shooting his caddy on the Scottish moors if his caddy has the temerity to put the Donald Trump score down correctly. Michael in Edinburgh says the most famous headline associated with Inverness Caledonian Thistle's victory over Celtic in 2000 is Super Cali go ballistic, Celtic are atrocious. This headline, famously published in the Scottish Sun, captured the shock and magnitude of Inverness Caledonian Thistle's 3-1 victory over Celtic in the Scottish Cup. The headline became a symbol of the upset and is still remembered today. Super Cali go ballistic, Celtic are atrocious. I mean, it doesn't have the brevity of Yawn 2K, or Gotcha, most certainly. But that is genius, isn't it? Caledonian Thistle beat Celtic 3-1 in a highly unlikely result. And the headline, Super Cali go ballistic, Celtic are atrocious. That might be the greatest headline of all time. It's a lot of words to fit on the front page of a newspaper, but totally worth it. 0345 6060 973. Portsmouth, Abdul.
Hello there, how are you?
Hello there. Great, mate.
Okay, I'd like to talk about the doctor's strike.
The doctor's strike? All right, okay.
Since the doctors have to study a lot and then become one of the important people in our life, do you support us?
You're coming and going. Are you driving at the moment?
Yes.
Oh, no, we don't take...
Okay. Okay, I've left a WhatsApp message. If you get a chance, you may read it. Thank you.
What?
I've left a WhatsApp message, so if you guys get a chance, you can read it.
Oh, you're giving me homework now. Well, I'll think about that. He's given me a WhatsApp message and he wants me to read it. Well, good luck with that. I mean, I've got millions of them here. I've got 9 pages of closely typed messages that have been cut and pasted for my pleasure. I might get to it or I might not. Either way, he sounded pretty angry. Very, very annoyed. Probably something I said. This text says, while the orange baby is in Scotland, he'll change his name to Donnie screwed that up. Donnie McDingaling.
Ding bong.
Yeah, McDingaling. He'll gain a Scottish accent and complain about the rain in Glasgow like the natives. I don't know. I lived in Glasgow for... I was there 3 months. Do you call that lived in or stayed in? I think lived in requires a bit longer than 3 months. I think that's about right, isn't it? Maybe 6 months. You could say I could say I lived in Leeds for 6 months, which is true. But lived in Glasgow for 3 months, I don't think it's long enough. Anyway, In that period, in those 3 months, it rained every single day. Every day. And I don't recall people complaining about the weather at all. Because it's always like that. It's not really changeable, which is what the weather in the rest of the country is. And that's why it's we talk about it so much. Because you never know what you're going to get. But in Glasgow, you always know what you're going to get. Wet. 0345 6060 973. Southampton. Hello, Simon.
Nick.
Simon.
Now, I've got a couple of things for you. First of all, I don't know. I missed the first 20 minutes of the show. Apologies. There is a note for the teacher. Did you see the latest South Park?
Yeah, I saw the clips, and
oh my God!
I know.
I didn't know whether you discussed it already because you keep talking about genitalia, and I wondered if that was part of what you were talking about.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, just brilliant.
And this, I mean, it's not important, but it's given greater weight because this is the company that was trying to merge with. I don't even know who they are. Who is Skydance? I've got
no, I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
Paramount or something.
Yeah. So the parent company was trying to merge with this other company, and they needed the president's approval, which some people are saying is why they canned the late night TV show, the Colbert. The Late Show. The Late Show with Colbert. Even though it was the number one rated show at that time of night. He was number one. It was kind of an odd thing to do, to take off the number one rated show. And the reason that people came up with, those on the outside, they suggested that it was, as did Colbert, that it was a bribe, essentially. For to make Donald Trump feel better. And this is on my Trump bingo card. He would get rid of one of the late night talk show hosts. That's on my Trump bingo card.
And but he's trying to get rid of all of them.
Well, when one goes, you would expect the others to follow.
Well, I don't know. They're doubling down. Did you see Jon Stewart's musical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also the same company. By the way.
Exactly. So I don't see how I can get. I think it's all starting to come apart for him. I really do. I hope so, anyway.
Well, you know what? The political obituary has been written so many times now, and he keeps just flying above it.
Yeah, but he's got to come unstuck at some point. The thing is, the right-wingers, they're always angry about everything, but the one red line they do have is, inappropriate behaviour towards kids. That really gets them, doesn't it? Yes.
Unless it's one of their own, in which case, it was a momentary mistake, and it could have happened to anybody. And let's move along and talk about small boats again.
It would be a dream come true, because I was banking on that man ending his days behind bars.
Well,
there's a chance.
That's never going to happen.
I don't know. How fitting would it be if that's what they get him on and put him away? Oh my God, I just can't even think about it. Now look,
just before we leave that, the fitting part would be that it's not the crime itself that he would get done for. Much like Nixon, it's the covering up part. Not that I'm saying that there is anything to cover up, or that he has done anything wrong in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And nobody should think ill about him, because he can be more presidential than anybody.
I can be more presidential than anybody.
Extra points and all that.
Extra points for getting it in order.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
Extra points.
If they do have to end up questioning him on this, his fans, then you never know. It might actually make them ask questions about everything, but we can live in hope.
Yeah, I very much doubt that. They've joined a cult, and they're lost. They're not coming back.
It's beyond sad. Now look, I'm going to put my faith in you here, Nick. Right? You're talking about birds and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I've tried to get onto Mystery Hour a couple of times. I have been on Mystery Hour with James O'Brien. But the last two questions I've asked, the call handler just says, all right, thanks, and puts the phone down, which obviously
Wow.
means, don't call us, we'll call you.
How
But I think
rude.
they're
Be polite. Yes.
I think they're really good questions. So
Go
I
on.
want to ask you these two questions,
Yes,
right?
please do.
So Nick Abbott's Mystery Hour, right? The first one is I've got one about birds and one that's not about birds.
Mm-hmm.
The one about birds is, right, when you consider the whole area of the British countryside, why do birds of prey always hang around above motorways?
And the second?
The second is, if you were looking at ways to be executed, bit dark, I know, but if you were looking at ways to be executed and you had a choice, wouldn't you choose firing squad? Because if a bullet travels faster than the speed of sound, you'd be dead and gone before you even knew it had happened. And they go, yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye. leave that with me, Simon. I'm not sure the second is something that you can actually look into. It's more of an opinion than anything else. But why do birds of prey hang around motorways? Well, probably it depends what kind of bird of prey he's talking about. Because if it's a kind of bird of prey that likes to kill its own stuff, then I'm not sure why hanging around a motorway would be appropriate. I've got two answers to that. First, they're not birds of prey, they're like red kites, those massive birds. They're absolutely colossal, like something out of a dinosaur movie. Huge, and they're all down the Thames corridor. And they circle and circle and circle, and then if you put a bit of meat out in your back garden, they'll spot it from a mile away, and then they'll swoop down. And without landing, they'll catch it in their huge claws and then soar off again. And so you would think that on a motorway there'd be a lot of, roadkill, a lot of dead things for a bird that's not fussy about killing things before they eat it. That would be, there for them. The other thing that occurs to me is motorways are everywhere. And if a bird does have a lot of territory, then it's quite likely that some of that territory, outside of towns, is going to be over a motorway. By Jove, I think I've got it. Any further questions? The doctor is in. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
Oh, hello. Care what this guy thinks?
No!
Lexi texts, please tell me you've seen the clip of Donald Trump dragging Jerome Powell into the area of one of the Fed buildings currently under construction so he could try to say that Powell is spending too much money on the renovations. Yes, I have. It's priceless. The clip could have been a Saturday Night Live skit and the ending was perfect. Trump took his hard hat off, which he clearly didn't need because his hair had maintained its helmet-like look.
Oh, shut up!
Yeah, that's absolutely right, yeah. He tried to embarrass Jerome Powell on screen and almost uniquely. I mean, I've almost never seen anybody correct Trump in real time. There's an Aussie news interviewer, and I can't remember what his name is, but he famously sat down to a Donald Trump interview. I think he did it again just recently. I've seen at least 2 different times. And he asked Donald Trump questions, and Donald Trump will come out with the usual nonsense. He'll just make things up off the top of his head. And the interviewer was like, no, that's not true. And Trump would say, well, he'd show him a piece of paper with a cartoon drawn on it, which Trump thinks proves what he said is right. And both the interviewer and Jerome Powell just looked at it and said, no, that's not right. You got it wrong because of this and that and the other. And, of course, this doesn't register with Trump. He just blasts through it and just repeats what he said and frames it a different way. It's just comical. The leader of the free world. I think that the human race has made a big mistake somewhere. We've taken a wrong turn somewhere, back a ways, like they'd say in America. George in Huddersfield says, "Hi, Nick, the reason that Trump wears baggy trousers is because he wants..." No, I can't read that. I can't read that. It's too rude.
Don't be rude.
I'm trying not to be rude, Donny. Something about a ballroom. Never mind. East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Great. A couple of bits on Trump, and then I'll sort your twists and swallows out in a minute. The two bits on Trump. He spent 10 years whining about lawfare. And lo and behold, what have we got? He's taking broadcasters to court. He's putting publishers in court. He wants rid of everybody, using the courts and 10 billion as a threat.
Yes.
How hypocritical can you get?
Well, not much more than him. I mean, yeah, you know, it's just... at this point, I'm practically speechless. It's just incredible that anybody still supports that man. It's just really... I mean, I guess people are all in, aren't they? Like, they've been playing poker their entire lives and they've pushed all of their chips in the middle of the table. And it's either this is the thing that's going to win their life for them, you know, it'll be transformed into what they'd always wanted it to be, or they can lose all hope. That's why they're gone. They're not going to be reached. Those people that have joined his cult, they're all in.
Yeah, I agree on that one. But something else that's come up, a few people have been suggesting that in order to get a better trade deal, Starmer ought to play a round of golf with Trump. Now, this is ridiculous because we've got a far better candidate than that. Somebody who shares a love of golf, Trump loves royalty, and on their way round, they could discuss their mutual friend Epstein. I give you Andrew Winter.
Yeah, I think you better put your affairs in order, Mike, because you're on the way to the tower.
Yeah, and whatever Trump does to me, but anyway... But anyway, Swifts and Swallows, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Swifts are brown, and their wing pattern is like a quarter moon, with a little bit of the head poking out the front, and the body and tail poking out the back.
Kind of a bit Spitfire-ish.
Yeah, really curved wings there.
Yeah.
And they're bigger than swallows. Swallows are blue and white with a little orange patch under the chin. But their wings don't form a full... crescent. The head perks out, and then rather than the full crescent, there's a little indent on each side before the wings start. And they're much smaller, and martins are even smaller than them. But yeah, they're lovely things.
Of course, Donald Trump has got a little orange mark underneath his chin.
Oh, shut up!
And everywhere else in his face as well, yeah. Apart from around the ears. He always seems to miss the bit around the ears. I guess he needs another mirror to see there.
And the eye sockets always seem a bit pale.
Yeah, a little bit.
A bit of an owl look.
Yeah, like a panda, yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Mark. 0345 6060 973. Now I'm in trouble. Andrew in Penzance says the Cheeto has turned up to cheat his way around his Scottish golf courses. This text says, I can't stop laughing about your comment on Donald Trump's trousers. Please repeat. My sister Katie wants to hear. We've got no catch-up. Well, you ain't got no internet. You know that we put these two shows, the Friday and Saturday night shows, up the internet as a podcast? Oh, yeah. It's a public service. We call it Nick Abbot The Whole Show podcast, the Friday and Saturday night shows. I mean, if you just can't take it anymore and you want to listen to the rest of it at some other point because you need your beauty... Well, I mean, look at you. Do you ever need your beauty sleep? Lots of it. I'm just trying to help. Then... at some later point, at your choosing, you can listen to the Friday or the Saturday night shows in their entirety. It's called Nick Abbot The Whole Show podcast, only on Global Player or the new LBC app, both of which are free from the App Store. And the idea is we take the news and most of the ads out, mostly, which means it takes less time to listen to, which will give you more time to think about Donald Trump's trousers.
Disgusting.
Dave in Paul says... Nick, I really hope the Scots fill the skies with blow-up Orange Man baby barrage balloons. Yes. There must be some, surely. 0345 6060 973. You're going to have to make your presence felt, Scotland. Come on, we're relying on you. York. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Nick. I've got quite a bit I wanted to get off my chest, actually.
Rightio.
Right. Well, starting with West Streeting and the doctor strikes.
Yeah.
I was listening to BBC Verify this morning, and they did a deep dive into the doctors' numbers, and they're just not accurate, and they're quite widely debunked sort of systems by which economic systems they're measuring how much lower their wages are to 2008, and that's not to say I really supported them last year, I really did. But I just think a year in to start again at that height is just not. It's not on, and all they're going to do is to further make way for the NHS to be completely dismantled at this rate.
Well, when you say that they claimed that the doctors' idea of inflation wasn't correct, I mean, as far as I know, there's two, maybe three measures of inflation, one of which is, I can't remember what the acronyms are. One's the one that we usually use, and that's the basket of goods. You know, this sort of fantasy.
I can't remember,
basket of goods, and they were taking the higher level of inflation than the one that is often used. But the level that they're using is one that we would ordinarily use without the other level, which I think is lower because it suits governments of the day to use a lower figure. But the difference between the two is quite small. I mean, I guess it would make a big difference or a larger difference over time, but there's not much in it.
Well, the BBC Verify this morning said, in actual fact, they've worked out that the doctors are owed 7%. That the shortfall is 7%. Now, I think over time that should be restored, and I think West Streeting was offering them help with exam costs. This week, he was offering them better conditions, and I just think it's really short-sighted of them to just throw that in the face a year into the government after they've given.
Okay. I get it, but think of this. I mean, how many times have you heard, well, we can't tax rich people because they'll leave? You know, they're very mobile, and so we can't possibly tax rich people, so everybody else has got to chip in. Well,
and you wouldn't believe what's on the front pages of the papers tomorrow.
Well,
it's
don't tell me.
Farms are going under now because of the IA. I know.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a moment.
I don't either.
I mean, it hasn't even come in yet, and they're claiming that farms are closing because of that. Farms may be closing because of the fallout from Brexit. I mean, that's probably
weather.
The weather, exactly. It was sopping wet last year and they couldn't grow anything, and it's bone dry this year and they can't grow anything.
Exactly.
That's more likely, yeah. But you know, millionaires can lead, but so can doctors, because their skills are required in every country on earth. Most of our competitor countries pay doctors more for working less. So, I mean, if you were a doctor and you had, I don't know, 50, 100,000 pounds of debt hanging over you, and you could see people who are working, having got no qualifications at all, and they're earning kind of the same amount as you, I mean, you'd be a little aggrieved. I mean, okay, eventually, if you're a consultant, you do private work, then you might be able to earn as much as a minister, for instance. But, I mean, think about it like this. A politician's starting salary is, what is it, £95,000 a year, plus subsidised meals, plus subsidised transport, plus £250,000 in expenses, and plus and plus and plus and plus. And a doctor's starting salary is just slightly more than a third of that.
It does increase quite quickly, though, up the scale. But anyway, I see both sides of it, but I just think it's just too soon, to be honest. anyway. And then the other thing I was calling up about was Jeremy Corbyn, and he so reminds me of Donald Trump. Everything about him, he's old, he's arrogant, he's egotistical, he believes his own hype, he's surly whenever he's questioned, he promises simple solutions to complex problems, he's a populist, and he has very loyal cult followers, and he protects Putin. And he said the other day he wants he says he wants the waspy women to be paid out billions. Now, that is young people's tax money who have very little chance of ever getting a retirement, paying billions for waspy women. I just think he's got his priorities wrong. He wants no defence spending, which will leave us defenceless sitting ducks to Putin. And he thinks that not spending on defence will magically make us safe, and all it'll do is send a message to Putin that Putin can act in the UK or in Europe with no consequences. So I think Corbyn is a very dangerous man, and I hope people see through him. He just makes promises like Farage and Trump, and he doesn't have. I mean, all he's done is he agitates, but he doesn't actually. He blows off a lot, but he doesn't. Actually achieve anything. I don't think. And I think
the good people of Islington certainly think that he does.
Yeah, because they're his loyal cult followers. You
can't say that people of Islington are cult followers. They just happen to live there.
Well, I think though that people who latch onto populists are very defensive and loyal about them, and they'll look past any flaws. I really do. I think that's a thing about populists. I think that's
but by your measure, it's quite hard to figure out who isn't a populist these days, because Farage, obviously. I would question some of what you said about Jeremy Corbyn, but all right, we'll stick him in that list if you want. Who else did you say? Kemi Badenoch, she's a populist. But so's Keir Starmer. I mean, he's trying to take the tricks out of the populists' playbook. Banging on about small boats.
I mean, he's flawed for sure, but I wouldn't class him as a populist. I think he's more willing to not be popular than what Jeremy Corbyn is. I do believe that, and I'm not saying everything he does is right, but I wouldn't class him as a populist in the same way.
Right. Well, he's not popular, but that's different. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't always say. I know what you mean, but I don't think he works as hard to say pleasing things all the time. But what I was pleased to hear in your bulletin just now is that an old editor of The Sun is now going to do the communications. Now, there is no one better than a right-wing tabloid newspaper to know how to spin things well. So
yeah, well, we don't. I don't know what his personal politics are. I mean, presumably he's not as right-wing as...
He's not making policy, he's just advertising what Labour are doing.
I understand, but he's taken that job, which implies that he's not averse to working with people who aren't on the right.
Well, I think he just probably likes the paycheck of being advertising people.
I'm sure somebody like that is well in demand, and he can pick and choose where he goes. I mean, I've got no idea, but he chose that. So you'd assume that he has some sort of ideological similarity with the current state of the Labour Party. But that's a lot for us to chew over there. Thanks a lot, Claire.
Leading Britain's conversation. Nick Abbott. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Now, wait a minute. I don't like that kind of talk. Now, just stop it. It upsets me.
Here's a text, quite long, so get comfortable. It says, I can't tell you about this, or I can't call you about this because my mum would kill me if I did. But on the subject of Ozzy Osbourne, Nearly 25 years ago, I heard my mum talking with two other ladies of a certain age. They were talking about their teenage years, and my mum was talking about a boyfriend that she had before she met my dad, who she described as a singer from Birmingham. She told them that she dated this singer for nearly 3 months before he left to go to America with his band, but she said he couldn't have gone very far in the music business because she never heard anything about him after that. She said he called himself Ozzy. I showed her his pic on an album sleeve and she nearly fell off her chair. Looking at her and Sharon, Ozzy clearly had a type. P.S. After this, my dad wouldn't let me play Black Sabbath in the house.
Rock and roll!
Well, that seems like a good choice. Teenagers should not be allowed to play Black Sabbath in the house. Turn that racket down. Tavistock. Hello, Rose.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Rose.
Yes, swifts are brown with great long curved wings like sickles.
Spitfires.
I'm not sure I know what a spitfire looks like. And swallows, however, are white underneath and they have a lovely chestnut chin and face and a shiny, beautiful blue back, and they skim over the ground and over water, and they've got these long forked tails. So they're very, very different, darling. I tell you what, Google one, and then Google the other, and then you will see.
I most certainly will do nothing of the sort. I would like to remain in ignorance, if that's all right.
Remain in ignorance.
Yes.
I think Mike might have covered it, but I have to go downstairs urgently.
You have to go downstairs?
Yes, I missed Mike, yes.
Oh, you mean you had to go downstairs? I thought you were telling me that at this moment you have to go downstairs.
Oh, no, I'm all right up here at the moment.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah.
A few, well, not very many weeks ago, a few weeks ago, I heard these two separately, backbench MPs, Labour, disillusioned about the disability thing and everything. And Rachel Maskell is the one whose name I remember, and she finished her speech with the words, disabled people matter for being, not just for doing. And I thought, bingo. So does everybody. Everybody matters just for being, not for what they bleeding well do. And I thought, we want girls like this to form a new party, to match up, to join up with the Greens, to get a left-wing and environmental party which has some substance to it. And lo and behold, a little bit later, that Zara lady, who I don't know at all, popped up, and now we've got Jezza. And quite frankly, Nick, last night my sister joined and signed me on as well.
I don't know why the Green Party would be in conversation with him, for them to join him or him to join them or be in some sort of coalition, because...
Oh, you think not?
Well, I would have thought that the Green Party have got a lot of room in which to expand, because they are less popular than other similar Green parties in, our competitor countries. I think, well, they used to be the 3% party, didn't they? And now they might be 6-7%, something like that. But I think, what with the most important thing facing us, you can talk about politicians or...
It doesn't matter. No.
All of that nonsense is going to get literally swept away. And there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it other than mitigate the worst of its effects.
Yeah, yes, you're quite right. I mean, what we really need more than anything is a massive, great, substantial Green Party. And that should be the discussion that comes first all the time.
Yeah. But if Uncle Jezza is going to start a new party and that will drag more... it would drag out the youth vote more. Well, that's got to be a good thing. I mean, they might not all vote for him, but they might become exercised enough to, actually pay attention. Hey, kids, pay attention. This stuff's important.
I like what he says. I mean, I don't agree with Claire that he's arrogant and egotistical. I don't see that at all. She may be right, but I don't. And I've attended two speeches of his. One was an actual rally in Plymouth, and I thought he was fantastic. We just all cheered to the rafters, agreeing with everything he said.
Yeah.
And I just feel so strongly that we need this sort of a voice, whether it's him or whether it's Rachel Maskell or whoever, about redistribution and equality, because where everything has gone wrong, this massive inequality.
Yes.
And, you know, the rich bleating about, oh, we'll leave. I mean, as you say, that the doctors are leaving, nobody seems to care. I mean, it's just farcical, and I'm sick of hearing awful, awful people all the time. And I thought, well, at least there'll be some focus on Jezza and whoever else, instead of this ghastly Farage and this appalling Trump, and we hear nothing but vile people. And I heard Beethoven 5 tonight, and I was conducting till my arms nearly fell off. I say conducting, but you can only imagine what I was doing. But hearing that, Nick, I thought, we can do anything. Why do we keep falling under the spell of people who are vile and make us feel small and hopeless?
That is an excellent question, and one which should occupy us from now until the end of time. Why do we keep voting for the worst people? Probably because the worst people are the ones that love to occupy the plinth behind the lectern.
But, you know, the rest of us just feel it's all hopeless. We'll have to put up with this slimy Farage and, oh, well, we can't do anything about Trump, you know. But maybe if we changed our feeling and our spirit, we could.
If we all pull together as a team.
We all pull together as a team. Yeah, that's a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a rock and roll lyric from Dark Side of the Moon.
Rock and roll! Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Do you know, I keep meaning to listen to that, Nick. I am
actually
awful. I will give it a go.
I correct myself. It's not Dark Side of the Moon. That's Wish You Were Here.
Oh, right. Well, it doesn't matter. I still will get round to listening to Dark Side of the Moon.
Will you, though?
I promise, yes.
Will you?
You know, this is quite funny, actually. Sorry, I'm interrupting you again, but I rang up Blackwell's music shop in Oxford and I ordered the Bach French suites. I said, which do you think, the French or the English? And he said, well, I like the French. He said, immerse yourself in them. It's keyboard music. And then I said, no, I want Dark Side of the Moon. And he said, oh, classic album. Immerse yourself in it. So I left, you know, and eventually it arrived in the post, both of them.
Oh.
And I'm afraid I've only done the Bach French suite so far.
Well, did you get it on vinyl?
No, CDs.
CDs.
Yes.
Right.
But I thought, you know, apparently I've got to immerse myself in things,
yes,
according to this man in the shop.
Right. Well, make sure it's warm to the touch. Put your elbow in it first to make sure of the temperature. All right.
Yes, Nick.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rose. 0345 6060 973. Josie says, hey, Nick, forget Graham Kerr. Let's remember Keith Floyd. It's stated he was never drunk. More vino down the neck than in the cooking. Yeah, pull the other one. One of the funniest things I ever saw was there's a picture of Keith Floyd in just outside an airport in Thailand. Is it in Phuket? I think it might be. I think he spent some time there, had a restaurant there. It's the worst picture of a human being you've ever seen in your life. I mean, I just laughed out loud when I spied it. It's almost worth going to Thailand just to see it. Almost. Julie in Sheffield says, Nick, at my school in the 1960s, the diced veg was called Macedone. Macedone? Macedone. Julie says it didn't make it taste any better. No, there was just something absolutely, utterly vile about it. I mean, it looked like sick before you'd been sick. Sorry about that whole sick thing. I apologise.
I am very sorry that I screwed up.
Totally screwed up. You don't know how sorry I am.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking. Nick says, sorry, Graham Kerr, he's 91 now. And he was born in London. I thought he was Australian too, says Nick. I used to watch him along with Fanny Craddock because I'm sad. I don't think it's because you're sad. I think it's just because you're of a certain age. And, you know, kids, you're not going to believe this, but when it were sad when I were a lad, there was at one time only 3 channels.
What?
On TV. 3 channels on TV. So that everybody watched a certain person at a certain time is not that surprising because there was probably nothing else on the other side. I mean, he was on in the daytime, and I very much doubt any of the other channels were on in the daytime. I mean, BBC Two used to come on at sort of 6. I guess ITV, I don't know if ITV had something on in the daytime. I know they did at the weekend because there was 2 different companies in London. It was Thames, and the other one, London Weekend Television, which was the naughty one.
Disgusting.
That came on just afterwards. I think Kenny Everett's video show was on that, wasn't he? Something like that. But I know that the Sweeney was on Thames, because I can remember the logo that started before "You're Nick Sunshine." All of that. Men driving around building sites with brown cars. That kind of thing. Stephen Hanwell says, Donald Trump reminds me of the King from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Okay. Dave in St Albans says, did you know that Delia Smith baked the cake that's on the cover of the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed album? Yes, I did. Rock and roll! Yeah, that is a true fact. Delia Smith baked the cake that's on the cover of the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed album. The stuff you learn on this show. Educational, no?
No.
Let's have Cheadle, Elliot.
Hi, Nick. Are you okay?
Yes, good, thanks.
Good to speak to you. You know, I know this will prolong Donald's agony, but the reality is, why is he allowing the issue with Epstein to fester? What is it in his makeup that won't relent? And why won't he release the file? Tom Tillis, a prominent Republican, has used the term very clearly. Why doesn't he release the damn file?
Yeah. And Donald Trump said,
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you see, when he says that, he manufactures a bigger problem. Instead of kicking the thing down the river, he is actually creating more of an issue.
Yes.
It's no good saying that, it's all fake news. It isn't fake news. There is a file.
Well, he promised, part of his appeal to his fan base, he was going to release this and that, and he was going to drain the swamp, and he was going to give us all of the information that we required, and it was going to be names.
Yes, exactly. But there isn't names. So is he protecting Democrats? Is he protecting... Well, you have to say that. I mean, where's Bella Lugosi? I mean, she doesn't open her mouth anymore. She used to rant on, and she hated his guts. I'm talking about Pelosi, of course. She doesn't say a word. The Democrats say nothing. What are they worried about?
I'm not sure that you can deduce from you didn't hear them say anything to they haven't said anything. I think they've said plenty. But, you know, everybody gets drowned out by the tangerine scream.
But actually, you know, one of your journalists in America, it wasn't Simon Marks, said that actually the Democrats are doing very little. And he was talking about his knowledge of America as it is at the moment. The Democrats aren't saying very much.
No, but you're conflating the two different things. The Democrats aren't doing very little because there's precious little they can actually do. I mean, they've lost the White House and both houses, I mean, and the Supreme Court. What can they actually do of any substance? But he wasn't talking about this specific issue, though, surely.
Yeah, but yes, fact. But you know, the reality is the Democrats have the capability to pursue Trump. They will say things about why he won't release the file. I don't hear people saying that.
Right. And your conclusion from that is that there's just way too many names for one party to try to protect.
Of course. This is the Watergate issue all over again, isn't it?
Well, like Watergate, it's the cover-up, not the crime itself that's the problem. I mean, the crime itself is the problem, but the thing that's going to get them is the cover-up, betcha.
What do you think's in that file?
I've got no idea what's in the file that they're trying to have released. I mean, it might be nothing at all. The people keep talking about the Epstein list. That might just be a list of people that have flown on his plane or been at parties with him, or it might be in his phone book, because we've seen some of his phone book. But that's not an indication of wrongdoing at all. I mean, rich people hang out with rich people. And I'm sure that, half of them are guilty of something or other, but it doesn't mean that everybody else in the room is equally guilty of that thing. But what is actually in the files is, Angry Spice told us, didn't she? His spokesmodel. She said that, there's all sorts of information that, and videotapes and gigabits worth of information. They've got massive amounts of pictures and files and, all of that stuff. And I'm sure, if I was a person of evil intent and I had the wherewithal, then I'd probably take compromising material on very, very powerful people in order to protect myself in the future. And I bet that's what Epstein did.
Yeah, well, that's blackmail. But the argument truly is, why are they going after Ghislaine? What is she going to release? What is she going to tell?
You want me to guess what's going to happen next?
Go on.
She will say, I remember now, and here is a list of the following people. We'll start with prominent Democrats, and that's probably where it'll end. And Donald Trump is completely innocent of anything that you may have thought or will think in the future, in this or any other universe, and she will promptly be released and live happily ever after.
You think he'll pardon her?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the reasons I've just explained. She will have a selective memory.
But surely, even if he pardons her, there's going to be the question as to what is in that file.
Right. Well, unfortunately, there is no file. The dog ate it, or we left it on a bus, or unfortunately, the building it was in caught fire. Very, very sad to report. So we're just going to have to take her word for it.
Trump is so irresponsible. He comes to Scotland in a process where he wants his holidays, he wants to go golfing, whilst Israel and the IDS are slaughtering people in Gaza.
Oh, talk about a hard left turn there, Elliot. I mean, this is introducing a completely different topic on the back end of what we were just talking about.
There is an analogy, if I may just say this.
An analogy.
A very serious analogy. Israel is so reluctant to let the media into Gaza, and yet they've got nothing to hide. So is Donald Trump. He is so convinced that the file is garbage, and yet he says he's got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Well, they both have something to hide. Everybody must realise that.
That is a good analogy, Elliot, and thanks for squeezing that in right at the end of our precious time together. Appreciate it. 0345 6060 973. Lucy in Balham says, when Farage warns of societal collapse, does he have any thoughts on the role played by MPs who don't turn up to do their jobs and instead stir up trouble by asking so-called legitimate questions? Yes. My guess is that he doesn't have an opinion on that he would like to share with us, other than...
This is absolute tosh.
Tosh, he says. This text says, yes, our national treasure, Jacob Rees-Mogg. I am thinking about starting a Jacob Rees-Mogg Appreciation Society. Do you want to sign up, Nick? No, I do not. But thanks for asking. And Tessa says, Jan is right. You don't know your birds. Well, that's just rude. Swift. Anybody can tell the sound of a swift? Ben in Ipswich says, Nick, did you ever find out the name of that bird that you spent ages trying to track down the name of a while ago, maybe a year ago? No. No, I didn't. Don't start that again. I can't. I haven't got the strength to go through that again. No, some mystery bird, probably like a space alien. Nobody had any idea what it was. Relatively small, about a body about the size. No, you know what? I'm not even going to describe it because I'll just get 1,001 calls about. Was it this? Was it that? No. No.
Yes.
Wembley Park. Hello, Christoph.
Hi, Nick. So the main thing I wanted to talk about, I do wonder whether the person who prompted my call would still be awake. You got me on towards the end of the show, and it's probably only Richard Spur or Clive Bull fans who are listening to you now.
No, this show gets put up the internet as a podcast. You can listen to it in the morning if you like.
I suppose so. But, I have listened to one of your podcasts once, and it was very entertaining, but, and I suspect this is quite close to truth, you sounded as if you had just got out of bed during the part. It was a long time ago.
What, you mean me and Carol? The one with me and Carol, I sound like I just got out of bed.
I've only listened to one, so it may be that, often you're, very perky and that sort of thing, but that particular one, you sounded...
Yeah, I'm perky and she's pinky.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I did love Mike from East Yorkshire's reference to...
what?
I did love Mike's reference to royalty playing golf with Donald Trump. I thought that was fantastic. That made me laugh. It made me drop my phone. It was just brilliant. Do you remember it? Like, what are you doing? Are you fiddling? Are you getting your toothbrush out?
I'm making no noise at all. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yes,
really?
there's no...
I can hear lots of noise on the line.
There's no fiddling from my end. I can assure you of that, Christoph. Both hands are above the desk.
I just, before I got onto my main point, which I'm sure
there's more?
The person who asked it is not probably listening to the show anymore.
Right.
But
I'm thinking of turning this off myself. Go ahead.
Donald Trump, the South Park Donald Trump thing.
Yes.
There was just a comment on YouTube that I feel I have to transfer.
Share
to the brains of your listeners. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now there was a skit of Donald Trump being in bed with Satan.
Yes.
And there was a comment on YouTube saying, "Satan does not deserve such humiliation."
Yeah, I saw a video of somebody on Twitter, and it was like a 3-minute long video, and they telegraphed the joke way ahead of time and said, you South Park people, you've gone too far now. You really have, you've stepped over the line, and this is disgusting, and you should be taken down. And, the devil doesn't deserve that kind of a treatment, was the punchline right at the end.
I see. I didn't say. Okay. Now, a listener... I can't remember his name. He phoned in. He said he had 2 mystery hour questions, and I do understand, I think, why they didn't quite get online, because one of them was about why you wouldn't choose to die by firing squad.
Right.
I don't think, because no one who had experienced death by a different means could actually phone up and answer his question.
That is a very good point. Yes. Yeah. Any experts in that regard would be unavailable to talk to. Yeah, that is true.
But the thing is, and this is also rather weird, Michael Portillo did a series on or the show. I didn't actually watch the original live thing, but he did do a feature or something on what would be the most, quotes, humane, quotes, way of executing a person.
What, this was a TV show?
Yes.
On television?
I presume so.
Well, and was it a panel discussion programme, or was he out in one of his pink jackets swanning about the place?
Well, the thing is, I only really know about one of the methods, which he which he actually experienced, not beyond the point where he would actually die, where he would actually die.
Right. I mean, he's prepared to do quite a bit for TV, but not that. Yeah.
Not that. But the one he did talk about, I don't know, obviously he might have discussed firing squads. He might well have discussed firing squads. Thing is, I don't know, just about the firing squad. Having never really experienced a firing squad myself, I'm not sure that you wouldn't fail to hear some shooting, because not every rifle in a firing squad has a bullet that will actually kill you, because they arrange it so that they don't know who is actually fired the...
I bet they do.
So that means you might hear some shots, because they don't all fire at exactly the same time. You might hear some shots.
Well, I'm certainly going to... I'm writing this down, Christoph, and I certainly am going to give this a lot of thought.
Michael Portillo...
In case I need to make this decision in the future.
So Michael Portillo, he concluded that the most humane form of being put to death was by hypoxia, by oxygen starvation, which is what happens to you if you're in a very if you're up a mountain and your oxygen runs out, or if you're in an aeroplane at high altitude, because apparently the feeling you experience as you run out of oxygen is very pleasant. It's apparently quite close to being drunk. Or intoxicated, and you feel quite good before you actually pass out and become unconscious.
Well, you certainly have given us a lot to think about. I'm going to try and think about forgetting everything that you just said, with probably limited success. But I certainly appreciate the advice there, Christoph. Thanks for that. Grief. Martin in London says, Donald Trump came to Britain to promote idiocracy. Just be aware of that. Yes, idiocracy is real, and it's happening in America. Yeah, well, it's happening in a lot of places, Martin. I would suggest that it's happening here too. Idiocracy used to be a comedy about a dystopian future, and now it's a comedy. It's a documentary about the present.
Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
And if you haven't seen it yet, then you really should. But, to be clear, you're living it. It's happening all around you. This sec says, here's a couple of famous Sun front page headlines. From 1992, if Kinnock wins today, will the last person to leave Britain please turn out the lights? Yeah, I remember that, with the big light bulb on the front, yeah. Around a headshot photo of the Labour leader superimposed on a light bulb on the day of the general election, and go now above a headshot photo of the England football manager Graham Taylor, the top of his head replaced with a photo of half a turnip, after England's knockout defeat to the Swedish team at the UEFA European Football Championship tournament. Yeah, that's right. Why would you deliberately want to become the manager of the England football team? I mean, disappointment lies just around every corner. And opprobrium to go with it. I mean, they're beating you up before any of your players have even kicked the ball. Oh, why do we want to pick him? Why hasn't he picked that bloke? Everybody's a blooming expert. Mark in Kingston says there was a film called Starling, I'm sure, with Melissa McCarthy, and the Starlings swooped in and attacked her. So I think that Jan is correct. And if that's the name of the lady who was talking about the Starlings, and if that's the name of the lady who was talking about Starlings, ... That doesn't really make any sense, Mark, but never mind. Took up a lot of time, so that's the most important thing. Let's see now. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, good evening, Nick.
Yes,
how are you?
Jan. I am great, mate.
Yes, you sound it. So, but Nick, I had a couple of points to make about Trump, but before I make them, I discovered another one of these crazy AI made short videos on Trump and Putin dancing.
You did this?
No, I found it on. I just stumbled upon it. Those AI made
spooky.
little the babies. You know, well, no, in this one they weren't baby Trump and Putin. They're grown up, but they're both they're dancing to some Michael Bublé song.
Hang on one sec.
I don't think you've been to the break, mate.
I haven't been to the break. Jan?
Yes.
I'm going to go to the break and I'll come straight back because what you're saying is very important. All right.
I'll hold on.
Your call is important to us.
Yes.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Come on, we're running late.
Yes, much later than I expected. Back with you, Jan.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I'll just quickly touch on this thing, but there's some crazy AI made videos of Trump and with various Trump as a baby, baby Trump.
As a baby Trump.
But this one I found tonight was, I didn't find it, it found me, was Trump and Putin dancing.
Oh,
to
dancing.
Michael Bublé.
That sounds awful.
It's crazy. It's very short. But it's crazy. But that wasn't the only thing I called about. I was calling about how Trump is. I was finding out about his hotel in Scotland. It only costs the membership to stay in the hotel and use his golf course is only 15,000 per annum. And there's
only. Did you just say only?
Yes, and if it's a couple, it's 27,000 a year membership.
How is that still a going business? Who is paying that kind of money to?
Turnberry, it's got a high rating as one of the best resorts in Europe to go to.
Yeah,
it's the magic of Scotland in luxury.
I wonder who rated it that. Yeah.
No. So what's it called? Reader's Choice Annual Condé Nast Travelers Guide for 2024.
Really?
Yeah.
Condé Nast, the Traveller's Guide of that Condé magazine, said you should stay in Donald Trump's property.
Well, he's saying it's one of the best resorts in Europe to experience the magic of Scotland in luxury.
And I would believe that Donald Trump said that, but I'm kind of surprised that Condé Nast would say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's called Turnberry or something. Turnberry, and there's a site. I mean, he bought. I mean, it's a 1,400 acre site. But it hasn't got the use that he. I think Trump was hoping it would be used for the main golf tournaments, but it isn't. But the other thing I wanted to say, Nick, was this thing
which is probably the reason why he's here. He wants to strong arm whoever decides that where the golf championship is. I don't care about golf. Nick, I don't really know what what we're talking about right now. But I know that there's some competition. Hang on a minute.
Come on to my main point as well.
I know that there's some sort of golf
stable coins that his crypto
golf
coin
tournament that he wants to have held in one of his clubs. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I wanted to quickly say something about his cryptocurrency. It's actually his. He's looking to make America the cryptocurrency capital of the world, and he will be the one owning the money. Mm-hmm. He's making it. Him and his son started this. I didn't realise it was his
billions and billions and billions of dollars.
He will want his. He will do like the old. He will have his portrait on all the money, won't he?
Well, there's another excellent reason not to buy crypto. Jan, I'm going to have to leave it there, but I appreciate it. Now, I didn't get to read all of the messages, as usual, so I will try and get through them this evening when I return. But if you missed any of today's super show, you can listen back on Global Player and the new LBC app. And the thing to ask for is Nick Abbott of the Whole Show podcast. Now, with Global Player and the new LBC app, which you can get for free from your app store, you can read the news on the LBC app anyway. You can put the news categories in the order that you want. You can pause and rewind live radio. A boatload of podcasts are available on both. Get them free from your app store. That's Global Player and the new LBC app. I'll be back tonight at 10 with my normal abnormal show. Coming up at 4 on LBC, it's Henry Riley. But first, here's Clyde Ball.
Nick, thank you. And coming up after the news, the IMF says Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, will either have to raise taxes, scrap the triple lock-on pensions, or start charging for the NHS. So given that choice, which one would you go for? Would any of those measures be acceptable to you? Also count you. 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 Also count you.